to Healthy Skeptics, where we take a no BS approach to holistic health.
We're a mother-daughter duo who believe in redefining health by going beyond rigid protocols, detox fads, and restricted diets.
Here, we dig deep into root causes, challenging traditional and holistic medicine, and talk about what really works in today's world to help you feel your best.
Join us as we sift through the noise, tackle myths, and offer real insights into holistic health with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Hey, hello. Okay, so hopefully at some point we'll get better at doing podcast intros that aren't incredibly awkward, because this is probably the 7th take that you guys are hearing, and she can't get her face together to actually do a normal, not weird intro.
All I wanted to do is say, hi, welcome to the pod, because it would be funny, and you said not to.
There's literally nothing funny about that.
But
I don't understand the joke.
It's funny.
What is funny?
Okay, because it's funny because you wanted to say it, so then I was saying
I
it.
told you that in private, that when it came up, I had an inclination to want to say that, but I felt like it was dumb.
Yeah, but I'm older. It's not dumb if I do it. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
I'm over 60, so
and you're going to die soon.
And I don't have any F's to give anymore, so I can do whatever I want.
It's sad. We'll keep these recordings for your funeral.
Oh, thank you. That'll be great. You can play them. You can play them on the screen. That'll be great.
We can do some outtakes.
I erased all of
in
them.
the funeral video.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's the best thing in the world, because now when they go on vacation or anything like that, and they send pictures, they being my parents, and they'll send pictures and I'm like, oh, this is such a good one for the funeral video.
She's right.
Anywho, okay. Honestly, we're going to talk about health things today.
Yeah.
So basically, I spend a lot of time on social media.
She says that because I don't like to be on camera.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wish I didn't have to, but it's 2024 and we have a business. So we're on social media quite a bit, and you guys probably are too. And as far as hormone tips go, there are a lot of accounts sharing how to balance, quote unquote,
So many accounts.
hormones. And we talked about this in our first episode a little bit, but what we wanted to do today is really kind of break down the most common advice and bad practices, in our opinion, when it comes to supporting hormonal health in women. Now, on social media, these kind of more holistic or functional medicine accounts, you get a lot of blanketed hormone advice. Eat more, or
Eat
better. Eat more balanced, whatever that means. Exercise more, sleep more, drink more water, take some supplements, and all things will be fine.
Yeah.
And I think this is really confusing, because a lot of women...
Yeah, we're all like, hello, we're doing all of these things.
We're trying to do all these things.
And I'm still not balanced.
And I'm still not balanced. It's still not working. What am I missing? Mm-hmm. Which can be really confusing and frustrating. And obviously with social media, I think there's it's hard. You're generalizing a lot of things because you're talking to the masses, but I still think we're missing the mark with how to actually truly support hormones, even from a talking to the masses perspective.
Right.
So we're leaving a lot of you guys more confused and overwhelmed.
But
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but beyond all of the general information, then there's also the more, and it's both conventional and functional, but then there's also the more pharmaceutical approach.
Yep.
Which is kind of what we're going to focus on today.
Yes. Yeah. We want to talk about more of the quick fix approach that's becoming more popular. It's not even like a conventional thing. There's places popping up everywhere doing hormone therapy, hormone centers, hormone specialists, doing,
which they're not really
doing bio, and we'll talk more about doing bioidentical hormone therapy or hormone replacement therapy, and birth control and spironolactone. We're going to talk about those two today. So we want to focus on some of these bad practices today.
And we're calling them bad practices. I mean, I think
They're bad practices. What else would you like to call them?
I don't know. I think they're lazy practices. I do. I mean, okay, can that be bad?
Sure. Is lazy ever good?
No, probably not.
Anywho, so whatever.
Maybe if you're trying to correct your adrenals.
No. Lazy practices.
I don't know. Bad just has a connotation like the practitioner is bad or something like that, and it's like it's just not what I mean. Honestly, what it is, it's lazy and it's trying to make money because these are huge money makers. I mean, huge, like in the billions, huge money makers. So you can pop up a hormone clinic and be a millionaire in 6 months. It's ridiculous.
I think just to circle back on the bad.
Okay.
See, okay. Bad practices. I think the problem is that when I say bad practices, people who have done it are going to feel judged.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I don't like that. But I also think like there's a little bit of being taken advantage.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so that would be bad.
So it's all bad.
That would follow under bad.
But as with everything, there can be gray area. Don't want to talk or get into the weeds about the gray, but just understanding that in some instances, some type of hormone replacement may be the thing. And I'll just say that and leave that there.
Yeah.
But
I'm making no comment.
There's always gray.
There is always gray.
But it's not what we're really going to talk about today.
But the gray is about this narrow, and then the black and white are like way bigger.
Yeah. But anyways, just a little caveat to that. So yeah, so
everything we're saying, it's not 100% for everybody. Nothing is 100% for everybody, but it's the things that we notice. It's the things that we hear consistently from the clients that we see. And, and then again, the things that you 20 see.
20 years in functional medicine practice that you've been
but it's also like the things that we see on social media too. So it's a whole lot. It's a lot, and it's not easy for people to navigate. They just feel like poop, and I want somebody to do something about it. Like just somebody please like do something about it.
Yeah.
And so
it's a very attractive. Yeah. It's a very
because we all like a quick fix.
Mm-hmm.
We like Band-Aids. They're good. They feel good.
Yeah.
For a short time.
Yeah. Which again, it's not a judgment because we all like them.
Yeah.
I like them. And sometimes, there are times where I've used them. So it's not that, it's more, again, everything that we do and aim to do on this podcast is to educate so that you can have more intelligent conversations.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
So anyway, so bad practices. So after, thinking about how we wanted to talk about this today, I think, again, we want to cover birth control, spironolactone, HRT, which is abbreviation for hormone replacement therapy, and then really just talking about like bioidentical hormones and what that actually means and what you're getting into in this realm and playing in this realm, I guess.
Yeah.
So to just kind of dive right in, let's have the angle of the birth control conversation to be a quick fix or something that's going to help your hormonal health. I think
at the end of... go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, you were probably going to say it.
I think it's coming around. I think it's becoming more popular that people are like, oh, no, this is not doing anything
positive in the long term. So you can go, people typically go to their GP or OBGYN and say, oh yeah, my periods are horrible and I have they're
with
heavy
and they're migraines, my skin sucks, my mood's all over the place, help.
Yeah. And they go, oh, here, have some birth control.
Yes.
And we go, oh, okay, thank you. And we take it, and it actually does make you feel better. Because for a short period of time, and there are
it doesn't.
Well, but I was gonna say and then there's all the different types, and you can go through all of that. But my point in saying is like sometimes the Band-Aid works, but it works. It's doing a disservice to your body. It's shutting off communication completely. So basically, what was causing you problems, it's no longer available. You don't have the hormones to even have a conversation in your body to cause a symptom, which is why it can work for people to feel better.
But it's also really dangerous because women's health when we say women's health, it kind of equals hormonal health.
Yeah.
Especially from a reproductive hormones standpoint.
We talk about sex hormones. Yeah.
Those have more purposes for our being than just pregnancy.
Yeah.
So they're very important, and cutting off the communication really has a lot of downstream effects. It really messes with your gut microbiome, which can affect your immune system, your neurotransmitters that make you feel good and calm and like a normal person.
Energy, your vitamin B production happens a lot in the gut. It depletes
a lot
that.
of minerals.
Yeah.
So we're starting to, I think we're coming around, and a lot of people are coming around to like, oh, this isn't for hormonal health. This is really a tool because I'm terrified to get pregnant and I'm going to get on it.
Yeah.
Which in that case, that's a different conversation.
Yes.
But I think we're getting away, at least in our world, we're getting away from using it for hormonal health. It's definitely still happening.
Well, I think that it's interesting because I would have said I think the younger people are kind of getting it, that the after college 20s to early 30s are kind of getting it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But then we had a client recently or a call with someone recently who is on birth control and spironolactone. Both.
Well,
in their late 20s, and another call with someone who's on 2 types of birth control and spironolactone, and it's like, and it's so. I would have said yes until like you start to see these trends.
What I'm saying is that in the person, people are like, women are becoming more aware and understanding of. Practitioners are not.
No.
So some of these calls and
that's a 25, 30 year program or process.
So some of these calls and clients that this is happening to, it's because they're trusting their either GP or their OB or their gynecologist to do what's best for them.
Right.
And we have a lot of clients that are dealing with things like endometriosis, PCOS, some of these
severe acne,
severe acne, like some of these heavier what they believe are, they meaning the practitioners believe are hormonal issues. We don't see them that way, but they're trying to mitigate these symptoms because it's all about symptom management. So they're giving them these tools, birth control, spironolactone, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think so it's dangerous, and I think we're seeing the spironolactone come up more and more and more, even more than birth control.
That's a whole podcast in and of itself, so I'm not going to go into.
Well, you can go into it a little bit.
No, all I would say about that right now in this podcast is, if this is something that someone is offering you, I want you to have a deeper conversation than just, okay, I'll take it because it's going to turn off. I don't like the acne. Like, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. I suffered with terrible postpartum acne, to the point where my older daughter drew pictures of her mom with little dots all. No, not you, but drew pictures of her mom with dots all over her face. That was how she saw me, and so it was traumatic. And I did things that I wouldn't do today to try to correct that problem. Now that I know a lot more, but I'm just saying, have a deeper conversation. There are severe side effects. I hate calling them side effects. There are severe effects, and there are long-term effects of taking spironolactone for even short periods of time. So I would definitely just have a deeper conversation, make them make the case that this is necessary, and make them talk to you about what those effects are.
Yeah, and
that's all I'm going to say.
We'll do another full deep dive into that one. But I think at the end of the day, when we're talking about trying to correct hormone issues or communication or get your hormones back to an optimal level, understanding what's really happening with hormones, all of them, all 50 of them, they're all pretty much relying on adrenal health. So a stress response that's healthy and good and resilient and has has flexibility in the way that it responds to your environment. So having a good, healthy stress response is so important. Having minerals being fully nourished and on a mineral level. Minerals are the spark plugs for all cellular energy and function and everything in the body. From every single hormone that you have, the 50 plus hormones, require energy. So when you're depleting yourself in these minerals that some of these medications do, or stressing your body out, which a lot of these medications do.
Yeah, from an internal
stress
perspective. Yeah.
Then, if your hormone production, all of them, not just sex hormones, all of them, your metabolic ones, your hunger hormones, your thyroid hormones, everything is impacted by choosing to use these kinds of medications.
Yep.
And from a metabolic standpoint too, you just will end up in a place where your body just does not have and is not creating the energy that it needs to function well. So that's from that perspective, when you look at something like birth control or spironolactone, even though we're not getting into that apparently today.
Nope.
The depletion that happens, the internal stress that happens from these medications, while you might get some symptom relief, what you're actually doing is, again, impacting your body as a whole from a metabolic standpoint, from an energy standpoint. So your hair is going to start falling out, your nails are going to start, being horrible, your digestion is going to greatly suffer, bloating, constipation, diarrhea,
The
weight gain, because now your metabolism, again, that energy production isn't happening. So you'll start to see more and more and more pop up the longer you utilize these things. Now, on the bigger issue, the most common one that we're seeing is HRT, especially for perimenopause and menopause.
Yep.
Bioidentical hormones for thyroid issues.
Bioidentical hormones for sex hormones.
For sex hormones as well, but a lot with thyroid.
Yep.
And it's becoming a real problem. You showed me an Instagram post that made me so angry.
I show you lots of Instagram posts.
Yeah, but this one, just the way that this particular doctor was talking, and she's functional. She's a functional doctor.
She's a functional person, I think. Which one? I don't know. I sent you a lot.
I don't want to say her name.
Well, it's okay, but go ahead and just tell me what it was, because then I'll tell you. I'll remember which one I sent.
The
you.
carousel where she was saying like,
oh yeah, she's functional.
Okay. So this made me so angry. Just to give you a little recap of what this was. Essentially, she was saying, this part I don't disagree with, but it was her perspective. Everything else. She was saying that menopausal women or perimenopausal women that are experiencing symptoms, so they're exhausted, they're like weight gain, they're just feeling like their vitality is
gone.
Totally gone, which is not an uncommon symptom that we see. She was saying that how can you expect them to make changes? So if we as practitioners go, well, you need to eat better and you need to sleep more and you need to exercise more and blah, blah, blah. She was saying, how could you even expect her to make those changes when she's too exhausted to get out of bed in the morning, or she has to drink caffeine in order to survive, or, she feels so bad about herself that there's no motivation there. So so what she was saying was, her point was, hormones, specifically sex hormones, estrogen, specifically,
yes,
are so important. And because of what's happening during this time period in perimenopause and menopause, we're deficient in these hormones and we need them.
Not true.
And so, well, yeah, okay. So we need to replace them for these women so they can even begin to think about making the correct behavior lifestyle choices. I'm going to tell you why this made me so angry. One, how disempowering and
demeaning
for the women that are experiencing these things. I hated it. Talk about like a slap in the face to confidence or self-esteem or really anything.
Yeah.
Now, I can understand on the flip side where you're like, yes, please just give me the things so I can feel better and then I can make the better choices. I get that, but you're handing over your power, if you want to say that, to a medication that you can that you're now dependent on.
Right.
When you don't have to. And I think what she was saying is you have, like, how could you ever get any energy unless you replace these hormones? Well, we have to look at why that's happening.
Right.
And the main thing, let me go off on my little thing and then I know you want to talk, but the main thing is that in perimenopause and menopause, when we run out of eggs, because that's what happens.
Yeah. You're only born with so many.
Our sex hormone production moves to our adrenals, okay? They take over that job. And when we are coming into a stage of life with 4 or 5 decades under our belt of extreme stress because babies, job, finances, illnesses, viruses,
but then go inside,
depletions.
Yeah.
We were on birth control for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
We were on an antidepressant. We were like all of these things.
Lots of antibiotics.
It's
okay.
There's
a ton of reasons.
And that's internal.
You just lived life. You lived life. You lived life, and you got to this point, and things are.
And no one told you No one told you how to support your body. No one told you how your hormones work. No one told any of the things. So we just get to the point. And now we're asking our adrenals, which are responsible for your stress response and responsible for keeping you alive, to take on another job when they've been working their butts off for 50 years.
Or more.
Yeah. Duh. You're not going to be, like, they're, of course, not going to prioritize those hormones, and you're going to get a job. So, instead of telling someone to eat better, drink more, exercise more, do more, live better, do all these things, we're not attacking it at the root problem, and we're not supporting the women that actually need support, and we're not giving them any tools, and we're not
you're just signing
empowering them. We're just signing them up to be dependent because, okay, well, your body's not making them, so here, we'll just give them to you. And here's the thing, you don't always feel better.
No,
this isn't,
a lot of times
they make it sound like it's like magically, this is the magic thing, and you're going to feel 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to make you feel better.
So I have 2 things I'm going to say.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, it made me so mad.
Take a breath. Relax. No, I was just going to say, one, yes, all of those things are helpful. That whole list that we talked about, the exercise, sleep, eat, move, whatever. It's all helpful. It's all helpful.
Don't put your hands up.
Well, because let me finish my thought. Because if I don't finish it, it goes away and it never comes back.
But helpful in what context?
No, what I'm saying is that. But the problem is that here I'm gonna dump 5 things on you that you need to do. Here, go do all these things, and you're like, I know, I'm not doing those things. I don't have the energy for those things. It's like, we're not, the practitioners aren't spending the time with people to walk them through small, simple changes, small things at a time that make huge differences, but also are chunked out in a portion that the person in front of them have the capacity to do, thus giving them the confidence and the self-esteem and all the goodies things. Yes, exactly. Like, and allowing them to trust their own bodies to learn how this is going to work. Because do you really want to be on a medication from now until the end of time?
And let's say in theory you were like, yeah, I do, because it works.
Okay, good luck. Good. You're in the minority.
Right. So
you're in the minority if it actually freaking works.
So
and you don't need constant readjustments of your medication. You don't need, titrations. You don't, that one didn't work, let's try a different one. All of those types of things.
Not to mention every single thing that you put in your body, from food to synthetic supplements to a medication to everything requires energy in some form like that the body needs to give to it. So whether that is energy to break down the food and absorb it, whether that's energy to break down and utilize the supplement, whether it's energy to detoxify and metabolize the medication or the supplements that you are taking.
Yeah, you have to convert it. Your body just doesn't take it and go, oh, this is great, I'm going to use it. No, it has to go through a conversion process.
You're requiring more energy that your body has already told you that you don't have because it's not making the hormones, right? And going, here's the thing. So you're going to feel better for like a nanosecond.
Until your body catches up and goes,
no way. And it's like, I don't have the energy to do this, which is why there's constant adjustment, titration, and we've just added something else to your body that it can't process well. So you're talking about more stress, and talk about this is like the scary thing about all of this is when we talk about like life expectancy. What's killing women at the highest rate, heart disease, this is stress related, inflammation related diseases that are stemming from the amount of things that we ask of our bodies. And you're already in a state where if your hormonal production has dropped off like that in perimenopause, menopause, you're exhausted, you're burnt out. Okay, here, let's give it something else to do.
Right. And I just wanted to wrap up the HRT conversation to talk for just a second about what bioidentical is. It's great marketing. That's what it is. Bioidentical is awesome marketing. Somebody came up with this phrase and we all go, oh, we're putting something good in our body. This is awesome. It's identical is what we think. Identical to our body. It is great marketing.
Yeah.
So, but it's synthetic. Talking from a estrogen and progesterone side, we're going to talk about the sex hormone replacement first. Quickly, that is made in a lab, which makes it synthetic. Now they try their very best to make that drug as bioidentical, meaning that your body can recognize it as they can. It's still synthetic. Your body will still treat it as something it doesn't recognize.
Pig.
Well, we'll get to thyroid in a second. Something that you cannot recognize, and it has, as Kate was saying, there's a ton of energy required in order to use it. On the bioidentical side, in the thyroid realm, when you're talking, Armour thyroid, and sorry, the other one isn't coming to mind at this moment, but those are porcine or pig derivatives. And so, again, are mimicking or trying to mimic our cellular structure, our hormonal structure. But it misses the mark. Both of them do. You cannot mimic what your body creates. It's impossible. It's like, eating a vitamin C tablet instead of eating a whole fruit that has vitamin C. You cannot mimic nature in a lab. It does not work. Yeah. And so I just wanted people to understand that the term sounds so healthy. And it's not. It's still a synthetic form of a hormone, just as birth control is a synthetic form. It's still a synthetic form of a hormone that you're putting into your body. That then your body has to figure out how much can I keep, what can I convert, how much do I have to get rid of? Oh my gosh, there's no room to get rid of it. Now I'm going to recycle it. I mean, there's just so many things that happen with that. So it's just, again, another piece of the conversation to have. And in sex hormone replacement, we have, I think, I'm just going to talk about one form of that. We have a thing called pellets. And so the pellets are injected into you and they stay. There's no titration available for that. So if hormonal replacement therapy is some conversation that you're having or something you're considering, think about it in a way that, I want it in a form. Pellets are very cheap for the practitioners, and they make a lot of money because it's a procedure. It's considered a procedure, so they can charge you more money for it. have the conversation with your practitioner about, what if I need to titrate it? What if I'm having a reaction to it? What if, like a million different what ifs that I could think of. If you're going to do this, you want it in a form where you can start low and slow and figure out what it is that works for you. Because, it's a big marketing ploy right now. It makes a ton of money for practitioners, which is why you see hormone replacement therapy centers popping up everywhere. So that's my little tangent.
And just a side note to that, like, what would you say about the progesterone, like the over-the-counter progesterone?
So the differences in some of those things that you're doing that are over the counter are plant-based. So again, it isn't the same as your body, but what it's trying to do, and there are, plants are fantastic, and
it's like an herbal supplement.
It is. It's like an herb, but what it's doing is encouraging your body to make its own.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a replacement.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, it is different. We're trying to rebuild a process, and you need to use it in the same way that your body would naturally produce the progesterone. It's not something you would do every day.
Yeah, and as a also caveat to that, it's a I'm doing all of the I'm doing the things that my body needs in order to support its own production, and this is coming alongside to help that production.
Correct.
So that's a really important thing. You can't just
Big
throw
distinction.
an over-the-counter progesterone, for example, at someone and then go, it's going to make you feel better. It won't, because you're not doing any of the things that are going to support your body's own production.
The goal in that case is to support your own production so that your body's making what you need.
Yes.
It's not about trying to make a replacement. Shut off your body's production and give it something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I hope that's helpful in having, again, more of an intelligent and better understanding of what these things are for hormone support. And I will say, when we work with women on their hormones, first of all, it's all of your hormones, not just your sex hormones.
Yes.
And we're addressing it from the root cause of adrenal support, mineral support, and metabolic support. And this is about actually just looking at the way you live your life and making easy adjustments that honestly most of our clients prefer. They're like, oh my gosh, this is so much better than how I was doing it.
I know.
And we're not adding more, we're shifting, where our mindsets are shifting, our behaviors are shifting, our understanding of things are shifting, and actually more times than not, you walk away actually enjoying the process and the things that you're changing, because it's not about restriction. It's not about overworking yourself. It's not about adding 1,000 things to your plate. And that's the difference. You don't hear it and say, you need estrogen before you can ever be motivated to make another good decision. That's
oh my goodness.
So wrong. And I think it's a wrong message to send to women, because we just learn it's just the same mindset the conventional has put on top of us as well, where it's like, without this medication you won't be able to function.
Yeah, you're broken.
You need this to be able to fix yourself. You're not broken. Your body shut off that communication for a reason. Let's figure out what that reason is, and probably the changes that you need to make in order to get that back on. You're probably going to enjoy and like your life a lot better. So great. Let's do it from that perspective.
Yeah.
So anyways, we hope this was helpful. Do you have any?
I was going to say, and hopefully you learned a couple of things, that if you're having these conversations with your own practitioners, that, you can start an actual conversation.
Yes.
So
we'd love to hear from you guys, thoughts, opinions, discussion. Leave comments, and check out the show notes for resources. We have a guide that we can get that you can use. It's free to get you started on just understanding hormones, your sex hormones.
Yeah. You probably heard an ad for that in the middle of the show, but it will be in the show notes
for you. So we will see you
next time.